What's going on, guys? Welcome to this episode of Head-to-Head Battles. In today's episode, an undefeated virtual world deck profile, post megatins, and this should kind of like work all the way up until Bode. This deck list is really freaking dope, and if you guys like content like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell to join the squad. Also, we did start a Patreon, so make sure you guys go check those links out below. And I know that usually I am the virtual world king, a god, nay, I don't know what's higher than a god, but we got our good friend Will here today. He's gonna be showcasing you his deck profile because he is the one that went undefeated. If you also want to go undefeated, comment down below if there's any changes you would make to this deck, why, and give this video a thumbs up, right? So without further ado, let's get my boy Will in here. Woo! All right, yo, what's up, Will? Welcome to the show, baby.
What's up, bro?
This is the freest dude at Locals. If you guys watch the Local series, I don't know how they keep letting this dude win.
It's insane, honestly.
So you went undefeated for a megatin case tournament,
yeah.
And then you got top 4 at another event, back to back.
They didn't want to play it out, so they were scared. They were scared.
They were scared. The freest dude at Locals. I'm weak. So the deck you took to both events was Virtual Worlds.
Virtual World, yep.
But you took 2 different builds.
Yeah, 2 different lists, yeah.
And there were 2 very distinct changes that you made.
Yes.
Right. So you took out 6 very expensive cards, and you put in 6 much cheaper cards.
Much cheaper.
All right. So we're gonna be doing kind of like a newer way of doing deck profiles, especially when we have a guest appearance like this. We're gonna be doing a lot more deck theory as we talk about the deck itself. So I want you guys to strap in for a longer ride. Also, right above his head right now, you're gonna see all of his socials, Instagram and whatever else he wants me to put there, right?
Yep.
So make sure you guys are checking him out. Yeah, so because this is gonna be a longer video, let's get right into it. Okay, so the idea behind today's deck profile is to get you as proficient as possible with this deck with just the explanation alone. If you guys wanna see live gameplay, head over to twitch.tv/head-to-head battles, where we actually play a lot of virtual. It's actually one of my favorite decks, all right?
Me too.
All right, so let's get right into it, Will.
Okay, first monster we have here, best monster in the deck.
Yeah.
Lulu, you already know, she does the searching, the dumping, she does it all. She's the best.
Yeah, she gets you what you need.
Yes,
right,
basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Next monster, we have Triple GG. Best, kind of like the best.
It's like, you kind of want to search it most of the time.
Most of the time.
But if your hand's really bad, you generally want like Lao and like try to dump the Nian.
Yeah, get more monsters on the field.
Yeah, but generally speaking, like the really good thing about GG is if you activate its effect, you get to add a card or a name back into your hand.
Do not forget that.
Yeah, don't forget that.
That. You forget that a lot, actually.
Yeah, and that effect is really important because if you generally end on Dragoons, the card you add off of GG is your negate, right? Like
literally, yeah.
Technically speaking. So, but generally you should be loading your graveyard with King Long anyway.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't matter, but you know it does come up a lot.
Your future plays and stuff. Next monster, Triple Lily. Double Foolish of the deck. She's like 1-card combo with King Long.
Yeah.
You just dump Janwoo and Lulu.
Right.
And then go from there.
Yeah, and what you want to know about Lily is it is a can effect. You don't have to dump both, but you do have to dump one because that's just, you know, that's its summoning mechanic. And Lily is really good because generally speaking, you don't want to get impermed on Charge Warrior.
Correct.
So you make Coral instead because then you draw off the Coral once the Coral hits the graveyard.
I mean, you're just bad. If you're imperming Charge Warrior,
yo, you never know, bro. If you're gambling on Zolkin like I am,
well, I guess.
All right.
Next monster. Lao. That's your monster reborn of the deck. Telling you this is honestly the worst monster to start off with.
Yeah, especially if you see 2.
You see 2 and that's your only monster to
feels so bad.
Something. Oh man.
Yeah, it feels so freaking bad.
Yeah, but monster reborn gets you Shen from the grave if anything.
Yeah. And especially if you dump Nian early in the combo, and like Lao bring back the GG and then you bring back the Nian afterwards on resolution, right? Yeah. So you can use it for a lot. But at the same time, it's one of the cards you want to search and not one of the cards that you want to see.
Yes, correct. All right. Last virtual world monster, double Nian. I don't play 3 because I don't play Desires, so 2 is good enough for me. Yeah.
A lot of people actually, if they're still playing Gamma, like to play 2-2 as well. Because we're not playing Gamma anymore, we don't need to play the 2-2. And double Nian is generally like the most accepted, accepted ratio. You definitely don't need 3. I don't see 3 coming up because it's so recurable.
Yeah. Within
its own like card text.
Itself recurs itself.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting card, but definitely not good enough to play 3 of. But you definitely need 2 of. All right. So now for our last monsters.
Last monster of the deck, just triple Ash, just because it's like the most generic.
Yeah, it's the catch-all hand trap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just gonna spoil it for you right now. We're not playing Designator.
Trash.
And because the card is really bad, and we kind of want to do kind of deck theory a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
Maybe for another video. But generally speaking, CROSSOUT Designator is only good in the OCG because of max C. And if your deck is losing to a single hand trap,
it's not a good deck.
It's probably not a good deck. Because we're not getting hit with max C, we really don't need Designator. And Designator kind of like facilitates poor deck building in a way. Yeah. And the deck always feels so clunky.
Yeah, it bricks enough already, and you're just adding 2-3 more bricks.
Bricks, exactly.
Like, your opponent doesn't stop you, it does nothing. Like set it for Zolkin, and that's
literally
the best case scenario. If they don't
exactly,
stop you.
Because it fuels your Chuche, and if you're luckily enough to win the mirror match, then
that is the only that is the only matchup where it's good.
Exactly. All right, next for our spell lineup.
Best spell in the deck. Chuche. Oh, sorry.
Chuche.
Sorry.
That's Kowloon.
Kowloon, man. I'm sorry. This card is the best card in the deck.
Like, it really is.
It literally starts your plays off. This is the card where most people don't ash it. But you're supposed to ash it.
You should ash the Kowloon.
Ash this card, but a lot of people don't know that you can. So too bad for you.
It's really interesting because like you can argue that this card is actually better than Lulu because the Lulu by itself doesn't really do anything, but Kowloon gets you Chuche, which is probably your best target turn 1.
Correct.
Meaning, if you have names in Kowloon, you always want to be targeting Chuche because that allows you to dump Nian. But if you have to normal summon Lulu and need to Lily target Lulu, you can't dump the Nian or other pertinent cards. So it's hard to say, but Kowloon, I can sometimes say, I'd rather see this over the Lulu.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or just both together, whatever.
That would be the best case scenario.
That always happens to me. I don't know why. The deck loves me.
Because you cheat.
Whoa!
I said it. I had to say it, bro.
That's
he's free only when he's not cheating. All right.
Next spell is going to be...
King Long.
King Long. Same thing. This is your Rhoda. You banish it, search. Against decks like Chai Brigade or
Shadal's, especially if they're making a window.
Like, so good. Because you go Kowloon into King Long, and then that just negates...
their Appaloosa or window or whatever, like any floodgate, right? Any monster floodgate.
Right.
But King Long is really good because you generally want to keep one in the deck, open one, and then dump one for follow-up on the next turn.
Yep.
But generally speaking, if you're playing well, you don't really go past turn 5 or 6, and you can recur the King Long back anyway via Chuche.
Yep.
So it should be okay, but generally sometimes a lot of brand new virtual players tend to not keep resource management in mind.
Correct. Yeah.
But King Long is one of those cards that really do neg you in card advantage, but also allows you to play. Exactly.
Lets you play. For consistency, we're playing Prosperity over Desires.
Okay.
Just because I would like to see combo.
Right.
Like, and Desires doesn't always promise that. Like you'll banish like your whole engine and you'll draw another Desires and then something you can't even play. That doesn't allow you to play.
So what happens if you banish 6 and you still don't see what you need to see?
And that's just the deck's fault. That's not my fault.
What? That's the same thing about Prosperity. Yo,
consistency.
Comment down below. Are you team Desires or are you team Prosperity?
Most of them are Desires because they're not up there yet.
In what? In wallet size? In bank account? What do you mean?
No, I'm not saying. They're like in terms of virtual world.
Here we
level,
go.
All right. You're like that.
All right, yo. You know what? We'll play the mirror match. You play Prosperity. I'll play Desire.
Okay.
I'm about to clap this dude up.
Crazy.
This dude is free. All right, here we go.
Whatever we banish off Prosperity, like you get back with
anyway. Same thing with Desires.
All right. So we're playing Double Tactics and Called By. These are like your reactive cards, so they hand trap you. Just go TTT, look at their hand, or even just draw 2 if you have in Prosperity.
Yeah, and another really good thing about Called By the Grave is it's reactive and proactive, especially if you see it and don't use it, and you're going up against Tri Brigade, and they normal summon Rescue Cat, and you got this card face down, you're having a good day.
You are. So Rescue Cat, with the newer version, it says has to send to graveyard. So if you have Shen on the field,
you can't even.
They can't resolve Rescue Cat. Don't let them cheat you. Next card.
The Spice.
The Spice, honestly.
Jesus Christ, man.
I dropped Droplet for this card. It's just so much better in terms of card economy.
Exactly.
And this is just, it stops your opponent from hand trapping you as well, not just the monsters on the field.
Yeah.
So like Droplet doesn't do that. Droplet just negates the field, and if they still have Nib, Ash, Veiler, whatever, they can't do it.
Exactly. And the one thing I don't like about Droplets is most of the time you're Dropleting 2, and if your hand is already bad, you could argue like, oh, you can just pitch your King Long or your Chuche or whatever.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And like if we're talking about like pure card advantage, and if you understand how card advantage works, Droplet is an amazing card.
Yeah.
But just not in this deck.
Not for this deck,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
For the last consistency cards we're playing, one Goods, one Itelli.
Yeah.
I might want to bump this up to
like 2/2.
Yeah, 2 each.
Okay.
And then drop like Imperm, drop one Imperm, drop one Ash. That way 2/2/2.
Sure.
Just to see them more often. This gets you Queen Long. This gets you a monster to target if you open like all the 6s.
Correct. I do like Foolish Burial Goods in this deck, but the reason I don't play it per se is Itelli and Foolish Burial serve somewhat of the same purpose, but they do it differently, right? Because Itelli will grab you either Nian Nian or Lulu, but Foolish Burial Goods, it dumps Kinlong and Kinlong searches you anything, but you have to discard a card from your hand. So you can argue that with Foolish Burial Goods, you get to play, but you lose resources, quote unquote. But with Itelli, it pseudo accomplishes the same thing without netting you -1 in card advantage.
Yeah.
And you should still be able to play.
Yeah.
But if you open nothing in Itelli, then arguably you can't play. As opposed to with Foolish Burial Goods, but that's just variance at the end of the day.
I just feel like whoever, like if you're good at like managing resources or you know the deck pretty well, Goods is the card for you. And then if you're newer with the deck and you just want to test it out,
this guy right here,
you play Itelli.
Itelli to 2, yep, agreed.
All right, so the traps.
Yep, that's our spell lineup. Yep.
Second, hand trap of the.
Yep, triple impermanence.
Sorry, they're not ulti.
It's all good.
Yeah, this card is just so good in terms of you can using it on your turn or your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
The 6th card, using it as your 6th card, drawing it, it's still good.
It's still really good. Like imagine you draw your 6th card and they have an apple for 4. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't gonna play until you drew this as your 6th card.
Exactly.
And this card is really good because you can't triple tactics talents if they imperm you, which is really good. And generally speaking, I really don't think a lot of people are gonna be playing CROSSOUT this format anyways.
Yeah.
So I think this is a definite safe choice.
Also, the column thing comes in handy.
It comes in a lot, especially if you're like staring down a Teekaboo or Rivalry.
Yeah.
Everyone's maining Rivalry and evenly matched.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Next traps, Chuche and Janwu. These are the last of the virtual world traps.
Yep.
Chuche, just your Dryden, pop any face-up card. Janwu, Monster Reborn. Basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it does. It really does come up, but that's if you Uber break and you have to like 600 IQ your way to another turn, right?
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, the Janwu effect, when you have another gate on the field, you can turn the monster into defense position. So generally speaking, if someone is trying to punch you for a game, they're not putting up any negates. And if they miss lethal, Virtual World is a deck that will capitalize on that like no other deck.
For sure.
And that's just testament to how good the deck is. So Janwu comes up and doesn't come up, but at the same time, remember that if you have no cards in hand, you can't even banish it to use its effect to Monster Reborn. If you don't have a card in hand. But with King Long, you can. You can just add the card and discard that same card. But with Janwu, you cannot do that.
And then the last card for this card is IO.
Okay.
Instant win button against a lot of spell decks out there.
Yeah.
Strikers, Drytron, even this deck sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like they'll go Prosperity, Desires, and then you'll just IO, and then they just lose.
Exactly. So you're not playing Skill Drain.
I'm not.
If you had it, would you play it?
I would actually.
So you would play a 41 main.
41 main or maybe in the side. It's a good card for the deck.
It is. I mean,
everything activates in hand, so you're just like, it's all free.
True, but your biggest monster is what, 28?
3K.
Or 3K? So what happens if, like, how are you getting over your own skill drain if I clear your Chuche?
Set up another Chuche.
Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Alright, so let's go over to the extra deck.
Obviously, you're gonna play the
your Shen, exactly.
Shen. Your 9s, or your other 9 is
Vermilion
Mech.
Yep.
You're gonna play the
Zolkin package.
And then your 6s, you're gonna play Coral Dragon. It's also your draw 1, pop 1.
Yep.
Charge Warrior. This is like the first one you go into all the time.
All the time, yeah.
To draw. Then MVP of yesterday.
The Spice.
The Spice, yo.
The Gaga Cowboy.
Mr. No Thong.
Nothung.
Blackwing. Yeah, he just came in so clutch yesterday in 2 matchups. Time was dwindling down.
Yeah, and it definitely comes in clutch, right?
Literally just summon it, burn, and that's all she wrote.
Right, and like it comes in clutch, and I didn't even know this card existed.
Yeah, until I showed you.
Until you showed it to me, and I was like, wow, this card's actually really good. Because like,
so good.
If your opponent is being mad scummy and they don't know you're playing this card, like he's literally losing to himself.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, he'll just like give you like 20 seconds to play.
Yeah.
All I need is my main phase.
Exactly.
If I make this card, I win.
That's what exactly.
The last Synchro.
Yep, the last Synchro.
Muddy Mud Dragon.
Yep.
Along with Kaliga and Dragoon.
Exactly.
You wouldn't say. I mean, a lot of people don't play both.
Exactly. I prefer both.
Yeah.
I like having the option, right? Because if I'm going up against a trap deck, Kaliga ain't doing jack.
He ain't doing nothing.
Right? And a lot of trap decks cannot get over Dragoons.
Yeah. Strike don't stop it.
Exactly. Even if they would have to open really poorly to out this card. Meaning, if they were playing Elic, they would need to like open the Elic to out this card. And like you technically don't want to open the Elic in Elic decks anyways.
Correct.
But like there are no trap decks that can safely get over this without like minusing too hard. Yeah, exactly.
I just usually, if I'm going first, I blind make this, and if I know I'm going against like Drytron or any like other monster heavy deck,
correct,
make this.
Yeah, because I mean, cause if you think about your end board, right? Even if you don't make the Kaliga against a combo deck, like a meta combo deck, you have Dragoons, which is an Omni.
Yeah.
You have Crystal Wing, which is a Monster Negate, and you have a Chuche Pop, right? And maybe you have a hand trap in your hand.
Yeah. Or if you open really well, you have Shen too.
Exactly.
But
and Lulu Qualoon will get you that end board, by the way.
Literally.
And yeah, like, because Drytrons, they can't play like that because, I mean, even if they go Alpha Pitch Zeta, right, which is their best starting hand, right?
Full combo, yeah.
Full combo. You know, they'll summon the Alpha Search to Ben 10, and then you just pop the Alpha gets banished, and then you negate their Zeta, and
they get Ben 10, that's it.
Yeah, what are they doing, right? So, no matter what, whether you go Kaliga or Dragoons, it doesn't matter per se, but having both as an option, I think it's better than having to pick one or the other.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Now we're gonna go to the XEs.
Okay.
Just play the 1 rank 3.
Okay. Gossip Shadow.
Gossip Shadow. He's your monster to gate if you can't get to Crystal Wing before your 5th summon, so you make this. Also, there's a second effect that a lot of people don't use, which actually came in clutch.
Yeah.
Yesterday. I made this first, and then I made Utopia Beyond.
Okay.
So I swung for this, and then main phase 2, Gossip Shadow's effect to equip itself to Utopia Beyond, then make Zeus for 6 materials, which is crazy.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Another thing you have to understand about Gossip Shadow is, especially if your opponent is playing Desires or any pot card, but then that's not the first card they activated, and like let's say they activated a monster effect, and you Gossip Shadow, make sure they don't activate Prosperity, especially because that is like the more popular pot card right now, because you can't draw for Prosperity or Extravagance for that matter. So just keep that in mind.
Negate though? Would you still be able to negate?
Yeah.
If you did, they just don't draw.
Yeah, because if
I pot it,
it's an if-then effect. But let me just read it one more time before we get roasted in the comment section. No, you actually cannot. You cannot.
You have to draw.
Yeah, because you have to draw. Correct.
Don't be bad. Like
because it turns that effect to draw 1, but you can't draw.
Yeah,
so
you can't. Okay. The last 6 we play is M7.
Yeah.
So good at bouncing pieces back to hand. Say you're missing a piece, just use Lao Lao, dump like Lulu, Reborn Lily, make M7, bounce Lulu back to your hand, and then you can play. Or even bouncing hand traps, like bouncing Lantia or Ash back to your hand.
Yeah.
To use again for your...
It's broken, yeah.
So good.
I actually didn't know this card also bounces cards on your opponent's side of the field.
Or graveyard.
Or graveyard. Like, I didn't know that. Like, I never used that effect.
It's always your own card.
Yeah, and then someone did it to me, and I was like, you can't do that. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. No, you can't. All right.
Play the Guy Dragon.
Okay.
That's just for the form material Zeus.
Correct.
And obviously
Zeus itself.
Zeus itself.
Exactly. So that's our 15 card extra. If you guys have any questions about the extra deck, make sure to leave a comment down below and Will or I will get to you. Now, for the side deck.
Side deck, we just did double nib.
Double nib. These are the crossout ratios.
Crossout ratios. So bad.
It's so clunky. It's so clunky. Yeah.
Just play 3.
Yeah.
Triple draw.
Triple draw.
In case you play Drytrons or Invoke.
Yeah.
Triple LS. Just back row decks or like decks that make a board that they don't play around LS.
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine setting 5 and not one of them is Judgment.
Double Dark Ruler.
Yeah.
It should have been 3, honestly. Like.
Yeah, I think so.
It's so good. It's a good card, but this is like the card I don't want to play anymore. Designator. It's not that great. It makes your side deck siding like weird. Like
makes it really weird because like imagine as a virtual player, right? You have a lot of names in your deck. It's interesting how variance works with this deck especially.
Yeah.
Because you break, but you play more names than like most decks.
Yeah, it's like breaking with prank kids. Like how?
Exactly, right? And now you're adding even more clunkiness into your deck. And the only argument you have, right? The only argument you have for Designator is that you won't get nibbed anymore. Or you won't get ashed anymore. Because truthfully speaking, getting ashed on Qualun or Lulu does hurt.
It does hurt. Yeah.
And getting nibbed does hurt as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, generally speaking, like if you are a decent player, you can definitely play through it. And, or around it too. And, you know, but most people now know because it's such a popular deck. They're like, oh, always ash the Lulu. So a lot of times they actually don't ash the Qualun and do hold it for Lulu. But at the end of the day, you can make Crystal Wing before you even activate Lulu anyway.
Yep.
If you are playing correctly.
The last 2 cards, just in tandem with the Lightning Storms, are just double Twin Twister.
Yeah.
It should have been 3, like I said. A lot of these cards should have been 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just general back row removal.
Yeah.
And you get to discard like Yan Yan or Queen Long.
Yeah, I mean, Virtual World is a deck that doesn't lose to back row per se, but good back row, like, it'll just straight lose to, like Gravedigger's Trap Hole.
Mine.
Mystic Mine. It has a really hard matchup against like decks like Altergeist, which have like an archetype bounce.
Yeah, bounce and the monster negate.
Yeah, so
really good.
Yeah, I mean, if they have Protocol and Faker, like it's really hard to play through that. But this deck does have a lot of amazing in-archetype cards. And as I mentioned in all of our deck profiles, like I enjoy decks that can play cards that are in archetype, right? I don't have to rely on random cards to help me play. Exactly, because Virtual World, the reason like no one plays Virtual World X whatever is because in archetype it's already really good.
Yeah, you don't need much else.
Yep. Alright guys, so I really hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile. If you did, make sure to smash that subscribe button, the like button, and comment down below what changes you would make to the deck. If you thought, you know, some of Will's choices weren't optimal, or if you thought they were extremely optimal, let us know in the comment section down below.
For sure.
I'm gonna put his socials right above his head right here one last time. Make sure you guys go follow him over there. Also, if you guys want more deck profiles like this, let me know in the comment section down below. Alright guys, so I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is Susu from Head-to-Head Battles.
This is Will from Team Plus guys.
There you go. Signing out. What's up, guys?
If you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that button right there in the middle.
Also, if you haven't watched that video that YouTube is recommending you, it's probably crazy, alright? Go watch it. This is Susu from Head-to-Head Battles.
Head-to-Head Battles.
Signing out.